Hey guys, Mr. T here. This is page 4 of the Year 9 Maths Practice Algebraic Expansion Test Solutions. So continuing on, where we're using the difference between two squares shortcut to expand and simplify these. So why do we know we can use the difference between two squares rule? You've got a term here, and then you've got a term there. Then you're adding those two terms, and then in the second brackets, you've got the same two terms, but you're subtracting them instead. If you have that situation, you can use between two squares rule, which was, if you have that situation, it is a squared take b squared. So you just need to decide what a and b are. A in this situation is 3x, b is 1, so the answer is 3x all squared take the b, which is 1 squared. Now you need to think back to your indices rules, index laws. The squaring applies to the 3 and it applies to the x, and 1 squared is 1. 3 squared is 9, and then you've got the x squared left over, so the answer to that is 9x squared take 1. So using that same shortcut here, because you can see it's plus the same two terms in the first bracket and minus the same two terms in the second bracket, let's decide what a is. A is 9 and b is 2x. So the shortcut is telling you that it is a squared first, which was 9, take away b squared, which was 2x all, well, 2x, so it's all squared. So 9 squared is 81. Here we need to apply index laws, so the squared applies to 2, and it applies to x, so it's 81, take 2 squared is 4x squared. Expand and simplify using the perfect squares rule. So a little reminder what the perfect squares rule was. If you had two terms in the brackets and they were being all squared, so times by themselves, the shortcut is whatever a is squared plus 2 lots of a times by b plus b squared if there's an addition between the two terms. If there's a subtraction, so it's a take b all squared, it's the same shortcut essentially, but you're taking 2 lots of a times by b, but still adding b squared. So it's just applying that shortcut to these expansions. So here we have an addition, so it's the top shortcut. A is x and b is 3. So the answer is going to be x squared plus 2 lots of a, which was x, times by b, which was 3, plus b squared, which was 3. X squared plus 2 times by x is 2x, times by 3 is 6x, plus 3 squared is 9. So that saves you a lot of time rather than foiling. But once again, remember, if you can't remember these shortcuts, then just use FOIL. Here you have a subtraction, so the shortcut has the subtraction of 2ab. So decide what a is. A is x, b is 1. So applying the shortcut, it's a squared. A is x this time, but it's taking away 2 lots of a times by b. A is x, b is 1, plus b squared, which is 1 squared. X squared, negative 2 times by x is negative 2x, times by 1 is still negative 2x. 1 squared is 1. Sorry, I'm starting to get sick, I think. This next one, it's a addition, so it's the first shortcut. A is 3x, so slightly more complicated this time. B is 1, so the answer is a squared. This time a is 3x, so you're squaring the whole thing there, plus 2 lots of a, which was 3x, times by b, which was 1, plus b squared, which is 1 squared. Remembering our index laws, the square applies to 3, and it applies to the x, plus 2 lots of 3x is 6x, times by 1 is still 6x, plus 1 squared is 1, 3 squared is 9, and then you've got the x squared plus 6x plus 1. Next one here, you have subtraction, so it's the second shortcut. A is 10 and B is 3x. So it is a squared, which is 10, taking two lots of AB. A was 10, B was 3x, and adding b squared and b was 3x, and you're squaring the whole thing. So 10 squared is 100. Negative 2 times by 10 is negative 20. Negative 20 times by 3 is negative 60x. Plus 3x, squaring it is, the square applies to 3. The square applies to x, it's 100, take 60x plus 9x squared. Last one on this page, trying to make it super complicated for you, but that is to show you that if you apply the rules, you should never go wrong. So a is 2x squared this time, b is y squared this time. The shortcut tells you that the answer is a, whatever a is, squared. So it's 2x squared, squaring again, plus 2 lots of a times by b. A was 2x squared times by b, which was y squared, plus b squared. And b this time was y squared, so that's being squared too. So as you can see, you need to apply the index laws that you learned from last topic. So the squaring on the outside of these brackets applies to the 2, and it's also applying to the x squared. You're squaring that, plus 2 lots of 2x squared is 4x squared times by y squared is 4x squared y squared. Plus, what do we do when there's something to a power put to another power on the outside? Times the exponents together, so it's y to the power of 2 times by 2 is 4. So here 2 squared is 4, x to the power of 2 to the power of 2 is x to the power of 4 as well, plus 4x squared y squared plus y to the power of 4. So that's a super complicated one. I don't think I've got anything that hard in your test, but if you can do it more difficult in the practice, then you should be fine for the real thing. So I'll see you in the next page, page 5.